In this class, we'll see the concept of arrays and pointers. Assume that A is an array with 3 elements and I have 10, 20, 30 in that array. Then I am declaring P as a pointer to an integer. Now I can make this pointer to point to this array. Generally, if you want to make a pointer to point to an integer variable, you will write P is equal to ampersand A. Okay, but here when you go for pointer to an array, no need to write P is equal to ampersand A. Instead, you can write P is equal to A. When you write the name of the array, that itself is going to give you the address of the starting element. So don't put again ampersand in case of an array, right? So remember this point. If you have an array, if you want to make the pointer to point to that array, simply write P is equal to array name. Now, when I do this, what's going to happen is, look at the diagram. I have now 6 memory locations allocated. 10 is stored in 2000, 20 in 2002, 30 in 2004. When I write P is equal to A, now A is going to tell you the starting address, that is nothing but 2000. If you write P is equal to A, P will also point to the same address 2000. Now the important point comes. I am writing P++. What will happen when we write P++? Here, P is nothing but it is a pointer to an integer. If you write P++, the pointer will be incremented by the size of the integer variable. Now, in this example, I told you that the size of the integer variable is 2. So, P is now incremented by 2. Initially, P is 2000. Now it is incremented by 2. We will have 2002. So, it will now point to the next integer. Always remember, P++ means don't increment by 1. You have to increment by the size of the variable pointed by the pointer. So here P is pointing to integer. See what is the size of the integer. Then you have to add that number to the pointer variable. Okay, don't simply write, if P is 2000, don't simply write 2001. You have to see what data type the pointer is pointing to and what is the size of that data type. Now let us see one more example so that you will understand. Instead of integer, in the same example, I am simply changing it to float. Let me assume that float is going to occupy 4 bytes. Definitely, always in all compilers, float will occupy 4 bytes only. So here float is occupying 4 bytes. In 2000, the first number 10 is stored. In 2004, the second number 20. In 2008, the third number 30 is stored. You write P++. Now you have to see how many memory locations floating point data is going to occupy. It is going to occupy 4 bytes. So P will be now incremented by 4, not by 2. That is the difference. So in the previous case, P is incremented by 2, but in this case, it is incremented by 4. Suppose if this P is a pointer to double data type, can anyone tell me what will happen when I write P++? It will be incremented by how many numbers?
8 bytes.
8. Okay, always see what data type the pointer is pointing to. Yes, good. Now let us see the next slide. Now you should know what all the operations you can perform on pointers when you go for an array. Generally in normal data variables, you can perform operations like arithmetic operations, then logical, and then you can also perform assignment operation. There are many operations available, but you can't perform all these operations on pointer variable. There are limited operations that you can perform on pointer variables. That only we are going to see in this slide. So in pointer variable, you can perform arithmetic operations. In that also, not all the arithmetic. In arithmetic, you have 5 operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulo. But in case of pointers, you can perform addition and subtraction only. You can't perform multiplication and division. And similarly, the next operation you can perform on pointer is comparison. Other how we can perform addition to a pointer variable. So now, what you can add to a pointer variable? Even though you can perform addition to a pointer variable, you can't add floating point or double data to a pointer variable. You have to always add only integer to a pointer variable. For example, if A is a variable, integer, if A is a floating point variable, you can write A is equal to A plus 1.5. But in case of pointer variable, you can't add floating point data. You should add only integer data to a pointer variable. And so, excuse me. And you can also subtract integer from a pointer. Then you can subtract 2 pointers of the same type. So these are the operations allowed. We will see with the help of the slides, you will understand easily. So now I'm going to add integer to a pointer variable. So let us see the example. I am declaring an array A of 5 with 5 elements 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Then I'm declaring an integer pointer in star P1. Then in line number 6, I have P1 is equal to A. So what will happen when I write P1 is equal to A? A is nothing but name of the array. This will make the address of the array, that is the base address, to be stored in P1. So base address is nothing but whatever is the address of 10, that will be stored in P1. Then that address I am printing. So here this statement is going to print the starting address of the array. Then in the next line, I am writing P1 is equal to P1 plus 1. So in this case, what will happen is the address of the array will not be incremented by 1. Instead, the array, the pointer P1 will point to the next element in the array. Previously, the pointer is pointing to 10. If you write P1 is equal to P1 plus 1, from 10, pointer will be pointing to the next element. That is nothing but 20. Okay, now address of 20 will be printed. Then in the line number 10, I am writing P1 is equal to 3 plus P1. Currently, where is my P1?
At 2.
Currently, it is pointing to 20. Suppose if I write P1 is equal to 3 plus P1, now P1 plus 1 means it will go to 30, P1 plus 2 means it will go to 40, P1 plus 3 means it will go to 50. So when you write P1 is equal to P3 plus P1 or P1 plus 3, in both the cases, it will move to 50. So currently pointer will be pointing to 50. Okay. Then I am writing P1 plus plus. So now P1 plus plus means it will go outside the range of the array. So it will go outside the range of the array. Then you will get that address also, right? So what I want to tell in this slide is, if P1 is a pointer variable, you can add integer to the pointer variable. As shown by line number 8, I am writing P1 plus 1, or you can write integer plus P1 as shown by the line number 10, or you can even use increment operator. Both prefix as well as postfix you can use. You can write either P1 plus plus or plus plus P1, both are correct. So in all these cases, the address will be incremented by the number you are giving as well as by, it depends upon the data type the pointer is pointing to. Okay, now let us consider this slide. So here I am having two different arrays, int A of 5 and then int B of 5. Then I'm declaring two pointers in star P1 and in star P2. Then P1 is pointing to the array A and P2 is pointing to the array B. In this case, I am writing P1 is equal to P1 plus 2. I said you can perform addition on pointers, but the line number 10 will give you now error message. What is the reason for the error is, to the pointer variable, I am trying to add another pointer variable. You can't add two addresses directly. Okay, P1 is now holding the address. Similarly, P2 is also holding the address. You can't add two addresses directly. There is no meaning in adding two addresses. You have meaning in adding two numbers, data variables, but not two addresses. So when you run this particular program, you will. Okay, so now I'll see about how to subtract two pointers. Is it possible to subtract two pointers? If so, what type of subtraction is allowed? So those we will see now. First I have declared an array with 6 elements and an integer pointer. Then in line number 6, look at the program. In line number 6, I made the pointer to point to A of 5. Okay, so now if I simply give ampersand A, the pointer will point to the first element in the array. But you can make the pointer even to point to a specific element in the array by specifying the index of the element and the address operator. So now I am writing P1 is equal to ampersand A of 5. So A of 5 is nothing but we have 1 at A of 0. So in A of 5 we have 6. Okay, so now P1 will be pointing to 6. Then what I am doing is, I am now printing the address A. A is nothing but it will always store the starting address of the array. So when you execute the statement number 7, it will print the address of the element 1. But if you execute statement number 8, it will print address of P1, that is the P1. P1 is nothing but it is pointing to A of 5, which is nothing but 6. So it will print address of 6. Then I am writing P1 is equal to P1 minus 2. Now, currently, where P1 is pointing is, it is pointing to 6. If you write P1 is equal to P1 minus 1, it will point to 5. If it is minus 2, it will point to 4. Okay, so after executing statement number 9, P1 will be pointing to 4 now, right? Then, when you print the P1, you will get the address of 4. Then I am writing P1 minus minus. Now what will happen is, currently P1 is pointing to 4. If I write P1 minus minus, P1 will be pointing to 3. Then still I am writing minus minus P1. So now from 3, P1 will be pointing to 2. Okay. So likewise, you can perform subtraction operation on pointers. So remember, in case of addition, you can, if P1 is a pointer, you can give P1 plus 1 or 1 plus P1, but you cannot give P1 plus P2. You cannot add 2 pointers directly. In case of subtraction, if P1 is a pointer, you can write P1 minus integer. Okay, you cannot subtract floating point value from a pointer. Always, whether it is addition or subtraction, you can do only with integer constants, not floating point constants. Okay, and you can perform P1 minus 2, but you cannot perform 2 minus P1. Suppose, if you consider the line number 15, I have given P1 is equal to 1 minus P1. If I execute this line, I will get error. You can perform P1 minus 1, which will make the pointer to point to the previous element in the array, but you cannot perform 1 minus P1. So remember these things while you are doing the programming. Okay, and it will be useful when you go for find output questions. Similarly, you can perform prefix decrement as well as postfix decrement in case of pointers. In both the ways, pointer will be pointing to the previous element. Okay, so you can perform the subtraction on the pointers when the first operand is a pointer and the second operand is an integer. This is a very important point. If the first operand is an integer, you cannot perform the subtraction in pointer. And if P is a pointer variable to an array, after executing the statement P minus minus, the pointer will point to the previous element in the array. Now, let us see the output we are getting here. So first, I am assuming that P1 is pointing to A of 5 and I am printing A first. A is now the base address. Currently for me, it is printing 784. Okay. Then I am next line, I am printing P1. So what is this P1 is? It is pointing to the element A of 5. So now what is the address of A of 5 with respect to the base address? If you know the base address, you have 5 elements from the base element. So you have to multiply 5 by, just a minute. Students are joining, I'll admit them. Okay, so now here you can see, first I am printing the base address of the array A. So I am getting the address as 784. Then I am giving P1. P1 is nothing but A of 5. You should know what is A of 5. So if the first address is 784, the address of 2 will be add 4 to that. In my compiler, integer is occupying 4 bytes. So 784 plus 4 is 788. Then 3 will be stored at 788 plus 4. So 788 plus 4 is 792. Then 4 will be stored at 792 plus 4, 796. 5 will be stored at 796 plus 4, 800. Then 6 will be stored at 800 plus 4, 804. That's why in the second printf, I am getting 804. Okay. And then I am doing P1 is equal to P1 minus 2. Now what is P1? 804. Minus 1 means subtract 4 from this. You will have 800. Then minus 2 means again one more time you subtract 4 from that. You will get 796. So we are getting the address as 796. Ending address only I am talking. Then I am again writing P minus minus, then I am printing. So take this minus minus, P minus minus means just you have to point to the previous element. Since it is integer, subtract 4, I am getting 92. Then I have minus minus P1, again the same thing, it will point to the previous element. Subtract 4, so you will get 788. So remember, while we are working with subtraction in pointer, don't subtract simply 1 from that. You see what data type the pointer is pointing to. Then Accordingly, you have to subtract that particular value. And one more rule is you can perform subtraction of an integer from a pointer, but you cannot subtract a pointer from an integer. But both prefix and postfix increments are allowed. These are the rules. In case of addition, our exception case is you cannot add 2 pointer variables. Now let us go to subtraction of 2 pointers. Can we subtract 2 pointers? It is a very important question. I told you you cannot add 2 pointers. Can we subtract 2 pointers? You can subtract 2 pointers if the pointers are associated with the same array. Okay, and if that is the case, you can allow the subtraction. Suppose if my pointers are associated with different arrays, that is I have 2 arrays A and B. One pointer is pointing to array A, another is pointing to array B. In that case, can we perform the subtraction? Actually, the subtraction is allowed. Even though it is allowed, why we are performing subtraction on pointer is, if the array is having 10 elements, if I am pointing to a particular element, if I go to the previous element or 2 elements before in the array, that's why I am using the pointers subtraction. But why do you want to go from one array element to another array element? That is meaningless. That's why even though subtraction of pointers is allowed, we will not subtract 2 pointers if they are pointing to different arrays. Try to understand, this is a very important thing. When you want to subtract 2 pointers, why we go for that type is, I have one element. From that element, I want to access some previous element in the same array. That's why I go for subtraction of pointer. But there is no meaning in going from one element of the array to another element of the array. Okay, so we never subtract 2 pointers if they are pointing to different arrays. You can run the program, it will show you answer, but it is of meaningless. So never perform subtraction on pointers if they are on different arrays, pointing to different arrays. Now let us see here one example to understand how we can subtract pointers if they are pointing to same array. Now I have an array A with 6 elements. I am declaring 2 pointers, P1 and P2, and P1 I am making to point to A of 0. That means P1 will be now pointing to this one. Then P2 will be pointing to A of 4. So P2 will now point to this 5. Okay. Then since both the pointers are pointing to the same array, I can subtract them. I will get some meaningful answer. Now what the answer I will get is, if you subtract 2 pointers, you will get some number which will tell you how many numbers are between those 2 pointers. Okay, let us see the output so that you will understand. Now I am printing P1. When I print P1, I will get address of A of 0, that is address of 1. Here I am getting some address ending with 392. Then when I print address of A of 4, I am getting the address as 408. And when you perform P2 minus P1, the second pointer is having more address, higher address. So subtract P2, subtract P1 from P2, so you will get answer as 4. But if you see this, when you subtract them directly, 408 minus 392, it is nothing but 16. But I am getting 4. Why I am getting 4 is, the subtraction of 2 pointers will not tell you the exact subtraction value. Instead, it will tell you how many elements are between those 2 pointers. Okay, so here P1 is pointing to A of 0, P2 is pointing to A of 4. So the elements between these 2 pointers are 4 elements, 4 minus 0. See the index 4, here 0, 4 minus 0 is 4 elements are there between those 2 pointers. So you will get that only as the answer. So how to interpret this result then? You straightly subtract these 2 numbers, then divide by the size of the data type they are pointing to. Here, when I subtract, I am getting 16. And these 2 pointers are pointing to integer. So I have to divide by size of integer. So that is 4 in my computer. So 16 by 4 is 4. Okay. So remember, while you are subtracting 2 pointers, we will get some number that will tell you how many elements you have inside both the point, between both the points are in the array. Okay. Generally, we never use pointer subtraction for subtracting normal data type pointers. When we use arrays, in that case only we will have collection of elements. So if you want to see how many elements are between those 2 pointers in the array, in that case only you will go for subtraction. So We will use addition, subtraction only with pointers pointing to arrays, not with general pointers. So remember that these things you will be frequently using in your program in the linked list. That is in the third unit. Now let me go to the next slide. Can we compare two pointers? So yes, we can compare two pointers. If the two pointers are associated with the same array, it is allowed. If they are associated with different arrays, you can compare, you will get some answer, but the answer is meaningless. So don't go for subtraction and comparison if the pointers are not pointing to the same array. If they are pointing to, if they are not pointing to the same array, yes. If they are pointing to the same array, you will get meaningful result, otherwise not. Let us see here what type of comparisons we can perform. So comparison is through logical operators only. So you can perform equal to, checking whether two pointers are pointing to the same address, or you can perform not equal to, then you can perform less than or equal to, then greater than or equal to, and then less than, then greater than. So all these operations you can perform for comparing two pointers. Now let us see through one example. So I have an array, I have two pointers and P1 and P2. I am going to make both the pointers to point to the same array, but one pointer is now pointing to A of 0, that is 1, and the second pointer is pointing to A of 4. A of 4 is nothing but 5. Okay. Now I am writing if P1 is equal to P2. Can anyone tell me what will be compared here? When I write P1 is equal to P2, what will be compared?
Values.
Address.
Address. You will compare only the address. You will see whether P1 and P2 are both have the same address. Both are pointing to the same address. But now P1 is pointing to 1, but P2 is pointing to 5. They are not pointing to the same address. So this statement will be now false. Okay. So when the statement is false, you will go to the else part. In the else part, we are printing by. So when you run this program, you will get the answer as by. Suppose in A of 4, instead of 5, if I have 1, the values are same, but the addresses are different. Try to understand. That's why I'm giving this example. Suppose in A of 4, instead of 5, you have 1. Assume like that. The value A of 1 and A of 4 are same, but their addresses are different. So here in P1 is equal to P2, you are not comparing whether the values are same, you are checking whether the addresses are same. Okay, they are different, so you will get by only. In that case also you will get by only, right? So now these are all the various operations you can perform with comparison of pointers. Now this is a find output question. Let us see the output for this. So I have a array and an integer pointer. Then I am writing P is equal to A. When I write P is equal to A is nothing but the base address of the array. So now the pointer will be pointing to the base address, that is the first element in the array. Okay, so you can see this is my array. Now when I write P is equal to A, now you can see here P is pointing to 10. Why it is pointing to 10 is when I write simply A, it is the base address, that is the address of the first element. Then I have a for loop. In the for loop, I am going to repeat certain operations 5 times. Okay, I am having a for loop counter variable I, which will vary from 0 to 4. I am going to repeat the loop 5 times. It is only a counter. So inside the for loop, I am printing star P. Can anyone tell me what will be printed now? When I is equal to 0, what will be printed? Star P. What is the meaning of star P?
It
10.
shows the first address, so it will show 10.
Yeah, star P will now print 10. P means this address, but star P means value at the address. It is 10. It will print 10. This is not clear. When you write P++, the pointer will point to the next element. You can see now here it is pointing to the next element 20. Then we will go to the for loop. Now I will be 1. Okay. Then we are printing printf star P. Star P means currently P is here. Star P means 20. So you will now print 20. After that, again P++. Now P will be again incremented. It will now point to 30. Then you come here in the for loop. I is now 2. Okay, it is less than 5. So you will go inside the for loop. Now you will print star P. Star P will print now 30. Then again P++. So increment the pointer here. Now you go to the for loop. I is now, it is 3. 3 is less than 4. So you print star P. 3 or 4, I is. Yeah, it's 3 only. So print star P. Now 40 will be printed. After that, again P++. Pointer will move to 50. Okay. Now I will be 4. It is less than 5. So come inside, print star P. So 50 will be printed. Now try to understand. Now I am incrementing P++. Will you get any error in this line? If you increment P++, pointer is now exceeding your array. Your array is having only 5 elements. You printed everything. If you give P++ after this, pointer will exceed your array range. You will not get any error in this case. But what will happen is, in the worst case, if any other array is in that memory, if you still continue in the for loop, you will change the element of that particular array also. That's why in some programming languages like Java, they have removed pointers. Try to understand this. Why pointers are not supported in Java is pointers are not secure actually. Even though we have some advantages in pointers, they are not secure. Why it is not secure? Even in this program, you can see, suppose if I change my for loop index as, instead of I less than 5, if I change as I less than 10, still I will continue and I will change other memory locations which are not allotted to my array. Okay, so if that memory location contains some important program, I will be changing the content of that memory location also, which will disturb the entire program of other user. Okay, that's why in some languages they felt that since pointers are directly accessing the memory, it is not secure and they removed the pointers in Java. Okay, but C is giving you pointers for system programming. So still compiler design, your compilers are developed only by using C. That's why still we are studying that syllabus, that subject we are still studying, right? So now, while when you run the program, you will be getting this as your output. Now, let us see the next program to understand. Can anyone tell me the output of this program? Just go through that and tell me the output of the program. Later I will show you. All of you are able to see the screen, so you please tell me the output.
10, 30, 50.
10, 30, 50 garbage values. Two
Garbage value.
10, 30, 50, 2 garbage value.
Two
Yes.
garbage values.
Yes, very good answer. Yes, now we will see. The answer is correct. We will see now. So first, I am making the pointer to point to the base address. So initially it is here. Then I am going to repeat the loop totally 5 times. Okay. In the first time, I am printing P. So star P. So it will be printing 10. Then I am incrementing P is equal to P plus 2. That means pointer will go here. In the second time, it will print star P means 30 will be printed. Then it will increment the pointer. In the third time, pointer will come here, star P. So it will print 50. Then 2 more times you are incrementing the pointer. But in those 2 times, you are not in the memory allocated to your array. You are using the memory of some other program or some other part which is not allocated to you. So that is going to disturb the security of other users. So we don't know what answers will be printed for those 2 movements because we don't know what is there. It is the program of other person. So something will be printed. That is some garbage value will be printed. Now, when I run this program in my computer, I am getting 0, okay? But always you will not get the same value. When I get 0, that means that the memory is having some 0 value. Sometimes if it is having some other value of other program, you will get that. So you can predict 10, 30, 50 here. You can't predict the last 2 numbers. It can